Avoid buying toys which comprise of toxic or flammable materials. For infants, toddlers and children who put small objects in their mouths, avoid toys with small parts as they pose a choking hazard.
Reporting to the media this week at Post Executive Council Media Briefing is the Secretary for the Division of Community Development and Culture, Dr. Denise Sawyerfat Angus.
We have had a very hectic 6 weeks in the division, and I will tell you about first some of the community activities that we would have been able to achieve. First of all, we would have delivered the Speyside Y Zone, which is our youth-friendly space initiative that has been occurring throughout communities. The most recent one is at Speyside, and we would have opened that one last Wednesday, I believe. It was a successful opening, and the youths there are quite excited about their new facility, which is overlooking the beach. Additionally, last Sunday, we would have recommissioned the Calder Hall Community Center, and we now call it the Calder Hall Multipurpose Facility. We have added a number of new spaces, and in addition, new functions, and new area of the computer rooms where we have outfitted at least 10 new computerized equipment, and many of them are state-of-the-art with the new touchscreen facility added to it. And the upcoming one that we would be opening in December, on December 1st, would be the Canby Mount Pleasant Y Zone. In addition to that, we would have launched our Tobago Weekend, the concept of a Tobago Weekend, where we would have at least once a month some high-powered activities, choosing various communities to have them in. And this was really to be able to attract our brothers and sisters from across the waters to come in and view what we have to offer in Tobago, but in addition to expose our artists who have had their training throughout and need an additional forum rather than just once a year where you have the Heritage Festival activities, to be able to expose their and showcase their talent throughout the year. It also helps us to include more communities in expressing themselves where the heritage of Tobago is concerned. And I think most importantly, to offer each community an opportunity at increasing their economic development within those areas. And so last month, we would have successfully had the Folk Fiesta. We called it from Black Rock to Blue Food. And this month, which happens to be Black History Month, and we would have launched the Black History Initiative, our Tobago weekend is called the Black History Weekend in the month. And it is occurring on the 22nd of, that is this Friday, the 22nd of November, this Friday, right through until the Sunday. And the areas highlighted for this round would have been the Canby Mount Pleasant area, where we have a partnership or collaboration with Pan-Trinbago at the Carib Dixieland Pan area. And this is going to be an exciting Friday night, because we are having Pan as we used to know it, Pan and Calypso as we used to know it, where we would actually have chipping around the block with the pans. And I think that is something that we have not seen in a while, and we are, bringing it back to the space. And certainly it's something that everyone should look forward to, and we invite everyone to participate there. In addition to that, we would have Calypso Rose with us for this weekend, and so she will sing at the Friday night Carib Dixieland amongst many other featured artists. And in addition to that, on the Saturday evening, we actually go to the Bethel area, where the Bethel community will be involved in collaborating with the Division of Community Development and Culture in showcasing their strong African history and heritage within that space. We would also be collaborating with the RBC sound setters in that space. That is where it will be held. And so we are looking forward to another exciting evening there. The Carib Dixieland program, that is a free program, and therefore we invite everyone. In Bethel, it will be $40 for adults and $20 for children. Leaving the Bethel area, in terms of the Black history, we go to Fort Granby, and that is going to be a little bit different. We sought to have a collaboration with the village of Mount St. George in that area, and also with the literary and the visual arts sectors to come together in that space to showcase the spoken word. So we are inviting everyone to join us on this weekend because it is going to be an exciting time. But in addition to that, the Division of Community Development and Culture for the first time would have launched Black History Month, where we would have showcased many of the icons. And I know that we could not showcase all at this time, but we did a few of them in terms of our advertisements and infomercials that would have gone out. But in addition to that, we would have had some other activities where we collaborated with Channel 5 to host a panel on the Black history, where we would have had persons who would have been involved in movement some time back. They came together to form part of that panel discussion. In addition, we are bringing together a youth forum that should be on Thursday evening, again, discussing the youth perspective on the impact of Black history. Has it been significant? Is it still significant in our lives? Additionally, the division would, given the fact that we have, like any other division of the Tobago House of Assembly, would have had our challenges in terms of our budgetary allocation. The way we have gone forward in terms of managing this allocation is to seek more areas of collaboration with various stakeholders. And one such collaboration came about with SW Limited and Showing Winchester. And the objective of that was to unearth some of the talent that we have in the communities in regards to soca and calypso, but more so not just unearthing talent, but giving them that mentorship support and guidance that they would need to become successful in their area of choice. And so this weekend we had a successful and both exciting series of auditions. On the 16th, it occurred in the Scarborough Community Center, and where about little over 20 persons would have appeared for the audition, and on Sunday at the Glamorgan Community Center, where you had another, perhaps 6 or 7 persons who would have appeared. Overall, they had about 30 persons there who auditioned, and personally, I felt very heartened at the talent, the amount of talent and varied talent that we have on this island. As someone would have put it, we probably have more talent per square foot than, anywhere else in the Caribbean. But coming out of that, we would have recognized that even though 3 persons are chosen to go under the wings of Mr. Winchester in Trinidad, where at the end of it he intends to groom them and work with them to produce pieces by the end of this season, and be able to sing beside him on some of the platforms, especially at the platform on July 26th, where he will be having his first all-inclusive in Tobago. I think in addition to that, we saw enough talent out there for the division to begin thinking, what next? How can we better serve the rest of the persons who may not be able to make it into the top 3, but who are still considered good enough for us to work with. And therefore, in the division, I've been discussing with my staff the other options that we can use to support those young people out there, and at the end of the day, ensure that we also lift the level of our carnival experience on the island, given the fact that we will be working with them early enough this season. And as we speak about Carnival, Bago Carnival 2014 is upon us. And the Festival Commission has assured me that they are working very hard in order to develop the schedule of the events for the season. Again, given the budgetary allocations, we have to work creatively. Upon review, they have found that there are some activities in the past that may not have been well attended, and so they're actually looking at how do they strengthen those activities, perhaps collaborating with another activity that is strong, making it one activity, and therefore you save costs in one area, but at the same time you improve the value of the offering. So those are some of the areas that they're looking at. In addition, I would have met with the new TUCO executive in terms of, giving them congratulations on their appointments, and also exploring ways that they see that they may need help and support in terms of their development. We would have given the assurance that just as we would all other cultural groups, we would provide a training ground for them. One of the areas that they looked at is involving young people in understanding the business of Calypso. And so I would have suggested that we not just look at training them in training persons looking at the business of Calypso, but perhaps looking at the broader view of training all those interested in the cultural industries, having them look at it as a business. So we were able to speak to that. In addition, I understand that the Festival Commission would have met with the other stakeholders, like the Mass Fraternity, Pension Bago, and TUCO, and they are awaiting their submissions as to what they would like to see in the carnival season before they make final decisions. However, with the Mass Fraternity, they have collaborated with them such that the Mass Fraternity will be getting the registrations from the various band leaders out there in order that we can begin to distribute grants to have them get started early. This year we have made a commitment to an early grant distribution. By the end of this month, I think it's the earliest that the grants have ever been distributed. And as such, we would expect that the band leaders who would receive these grants would really consider working hard and getting their costumes out early. Getting their costumes out early so that there's also the marketing of the costumes that would occur, and not just depending on the grants to take them through to the event of Carnival itself. Also, we would be having the earliest launch ever this year on November 29th, and that ought to be quite exciting. We confirmed our launch to be down at the Magdalena, and so we are looking forward to quite a new experience in terms of how we launch and how we are marketing our event. This year, we are also quite excited because the Commission has assured me that 2014 Bago Carnival will be quite exciting, or even more exciting than 2014. As the logo says, she becomes more beautiful, and as such, we intend to build on the foundations that have already been there and continue to make the experiences more beautiful.
We're celebrating Black History Month, and you spoke about the different celebrations that will be held this coming weekend and so on. But is there a school part for education for students in terms of Black history, persons going into the schools and talking to students as well?
No, not as yet. We would have launched that this month as the very first initiative ever, but that is on the cards for us to develop it further for next year in terms of our Black History Month next year. We felt that given the time that we were able to launch, that we would probably tease the ground with the youth forum and then have a year to plan how we are going into the next one. As part of that, we would like to launch our committee by the end of this month. The committee will be charged with doing this whole research gathering on the Black history, but in addition to being responsible for identifying and putting together the new awards program that we will be having next year, November, called the Tobago Heroes Awards. And that will be a new program we will be launching within the division.
I know this year there was some rift with band leaders in Tobago, and a committee was put together to steer this. Can you give us an update as to what is happening with that committee, please?
I am aware that the band leaders have come together to form a committee called the Tobago Mass Transformation Secretariat, led by Mr. Terence Sandiford. I know that the Festival Commission has been having talks with them in terms of defining defining their role in the Carnival, Bago Carnival 2014. So I'm sure those conversations will continue. Like I've said, the first stage of that has been that they took responsibility for registering all of the band leaders on the island, and our role would be to then hand out the grants to the band leaders. Our commitment this year has been to hand out the grants a little bit earlier, because we recognize that in getting the grants late, persons say they have not been coming out earlier with their costuming because the grants are late. But this year, because the grants are early, we are expecting and urging the band leaders, please, to get your costumes out early.
I know that one of the issues that the band leaders had was the judging of the mass competitions. Has that been resolved?
Well, like I said, consultations are continuing with them. I am sure they will be included in the choice of the judges at some point. I know that last year they were represented at the committee level, where the judges would have been, I think, chosen at that time. I know that there's always been representation from them, but this year they've gotten together, and I know that the Festival Commission has been having consultations with them and will continue to involve them at every step of the way. Likewise, TUCO and also Pantrimbigo.
Just for a point of clarification, you indicated that the budget for Carnival 2014 is 180.
No.
What that was?
That is the launch that we're looking at.
Oh, that's the launch.
That is the launch that we're looking at. Yes.
One final question for me. You indicated that your division will be partnering with Sherwin Winchester's company. At what level is
we have?
You have partnered?
Yes.
What is the Tobago House of Assembly's contribution to this financially?
The contribution was about 115,000, somewhere there, which we thought was a steal when you consider that you're investing in 3 persons to launch their careers. And so you would have had the auditions over the last 2 days, and out of those auditions, 3 persons would be taken under his wing to help them launch their careers within the soca and calypso fields.
Thank you for tuning in to another Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council media briefing for the week ending November 23rd, 2013.
It is important to inspect furniture carefully before buying or accepting. Check for small scratches, loose legs, or missing screws. Generally, ensure the sturdiness of the furniture before purchasing. When buying a bed, ensure it is firm and can withstand your weight, as well as others who would be using it. If possible, take other persons in your household to test its sturdiness and strength.